Rebecca Chase grew up in Illinois and arrived in Atlanta in the late 1970s, where she worked at the Atlanta Journal and WXIA.
And the winner is Rebecca Chase,
winning 3 Emmys before becoming a national correspondent for ABC in 1979.
Hi, Rebecca. How you doing?
There, she covered political campaigns.
In the early hours of yesterday, wave after wave of British Marines.
The Falklands War, poverty.
ABC's Rebecca Chase is in Decatur, Georgia.
In order for families to hang on to their houses.
And even the 1998 tornado that swept past the Dunwoody home she shared with fellow Atlanta journalist Dick Williams and their 2 children. Not realizing then, she would later become the mayor of Brookhaven in 2015. Steve Smith remembers the storm well.
The tornado came through Dunwoody about, midnight maybe. And the assignment desk in New York called Becky, who lived in Dunwoody, of course. And they said, Becky, we need you to leave right away and get over to Birmingham to do live shots for GMA. And Becky said, well, I'll go as soon as I can, but the tornado's going over my house right now, and I'm stuck in the basement. And I will get up and get in my car and go as soon as I can, but I got to wait for this thing to go past.
Dick Williams grew up in Kansas City and became personal, not political pals with future U.S. President Bill Clinton while studying at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. He worked as news director at TV stations in New Haven, Baltimore, and Miami before landing in Atlanta in 1976.
The best crew of reporters and photographers in Atlanta
to run the news operation at WXIA TV, Channel 11. Then, a few years later, becoming the city editor at the Atlanta Journal, marrying Rebecca Chase and bringing up a family. And later, purchasing his own paper, the Dunwoody Crier, while he was passionate about his family and basketball.
I think the public is going to side more.
One of his proudest accomplishments was being the bow-tie-clad conservative voice on the long-running public affairs show, The Georgia Gang.
I always say that, there are different reasons for wearing a bow tie, and George Will wore a bow tie, and a lot of people thought Dick wore a bow tie because he wanted to look like George Will. And I always said that Dick wore a bow tie for the same reason that Harry Benton wore one. And Harry Benton was the head of security for Henry Ford and had to take on the UAW as a strike breaker. And he wore a bow tie because if you get in a fist fight, your adversary cannot grab your tie and hold on to it and pound you to death. Dick was pugnacious by flavor, but he wasn't a hitter. I mean, it always amazed me, most conservatives tend to be gun guys. Dick kept a baseball bat under his bed, and I think he probably could have repelled an invader as successfully with a baseball bat as the rest of us with a handgun.
Together, Dick Williams and Rebecca Chase Williams were media royalty in Atlanta and loved covering the politics of the day. They were married 40 years. Rebecca died in 2020 and Dick in 2022. Colleague Chuck Dowdle believes their pairing and success were meant to be.
I know that when he met Becky, I knew that he was going to marry her. Even though he had already moved to Atlanta at that point, was working at WXIA TV, and I believe met Becky there. But I knew he was going to marry her. Here was a lady that was his journalistic match. And Dick was all about journalism. I remember his pet phrase was, good journalism is good business. And certainly that is the truth. And he believed very strongly that, if you did the right kind of stories in the right manner and they were fair and balanced, as we like to hear the term today, then, it would pay off in ratings, and it would also pay off in advertising.
The Atlanta Press Club is proud to induct Rebecca Chase Williams and Dick Williams into the Atlanta Press Club Hall of Fame.